interpretation, and the factors which is responsible for interpretation, and then we respond or react. So if there is any reaction or anger or anxiety, it belongs to the mind, it doesn't belong to me. And it comes because of the past impressions buried deep inside. It may be a biological drive, it may be an expectations, it may be an emotional cause, it may be an intellectual doubt, and that causes all kinds of the suffering. And once we separate it from mind is already separate, I'm not the mind. But because the mind continues to trigger from those impressions which gives a definite habitual interpretation, is what is known as the ignorance. Until we remove this ignorance, we cannot find the real self, because it is veiled.
Doesn't the mind also help find the real self though?
Yes, if we purify the mind, the pure mind is always ready to help. Impure mind is always ready to block. You are right, perfectly. Mind is an instrument which helps, which is a helper, which is a barrier. Which is a helper, which is a barrier. And we already answered that question clearly. The mind has a two flow. One flow is the Shreyas. It is guided by the intellect. Intellect perceives what is right and good, and it tells the mind, follow this. So that mind is able to find the real self. But if the mind dictates over the intellect, how? Why? Two questions. How the mind dictates over the intellect. But before, we have to understand, the mind is dictated by the sense organs. How? One example, you go outside, you look at the car, oh, what a beautiful car. Now you start driving, you keep on thinking about that car, you get attached to it. Now the mind is dictated by the outer stimuli of the car. Now the mind keeps on thinking. It doesn't allow the intellect to follow the path of the Shreyas, what is right and good. That is the result. You told me I have given her 200%. Look at it.
So
she is an object. Object means any person, any relationship. So my senses got attracted to it. Mind processes the information, and the senses again got attracted. That attraction has an element of attachment, so mind keeps on thinking. And it doesn't.
The mind does that all day long, though. I mean, the mind. I want to stop you there because I have a question. Like, the mind does that all day long, and so, like, for instance, I always use the example of a beautiful girl. I was at lunch today, and like the table across from me, there was this beautiful girl, and I was like focused on that beautiful girl. But like, so I guess like the one thing that, what am I supposed to be thinking about it? Because there's no way that like we can just stop the thought.
There are 1 billion beautiful girls. Question. Now ask the question.
What is my mind supposed to think about? If it's not on the car, what am I supposed to be thinking about?
I should immediately.
Because there's so much distraction all day long.
Yes. Distraction is because the mind has been following the path of the prayers, what I like and what is pleasant to me. That is why you told me that on the table, just across your table, there is a beautiful girl. So mind likes it. Why mind likes it? Because I feel it is pleasant for me. I like it, it is pleasant for me. I like it, it is pleasant for me. My intellect is now deluded. Now the intellect cannot come to the rescue of the mind, which should follow what is right and good. So not only this girl is so attractive and beautiful, there are 1 billion girls which are attractive and beautiful, then what? What I'm doing? Should I say to the mind, what the heck you're doing? What you like and what is pleasant is not the way you have to live. So this is what I have to think. So when I change my thinking, my level of liking and being pleasant, experiencing the pleasantry from anything drops. Now, intellect says, yes, I must appreciate the beauty. He is handsome and she is beautiful. That's all. Now your mind stops thinking and it does not lead you to attachment and you are free. House is beautiful, car is beautiful, you are handsome. Then what?
So it's not the thought, it's the thought with the attachment to it?
It is the thought first starts with the liking and feeling the pleasant. Okay. So the moment sense organs are always receiving stimuli from the world outside, we have 5 sense organs.
So there's likes and dislikes like that we talked about, and I understand that, but how
Go ahead.
I always want to ask you, well, I'm trying to like be careful how I phrase the question, because I always want to ask you, and like, but I know that doesn't necessarily work, but like, there's things that I like and dislike, and are you saying that is not the way of the seeker and somebody that is enlightened? That
ask yourself,
that there are no more like.
Just stop there. Ask yourself why that is not the way of a seeker. That I like something, that throughout the day, my sense organs are exposed to millions of the things, people, relations, objects, possessions. Now ask yourself that why this is not the way of a seeker, that first it likes, it feels a sense of pleasure, then it starts thinking. Huh?
The answer is because attachment. Because then we think that for instance that like will give us a certain feeling and make us quote unquote happy.
Yes.
And we think we find our happiness in external things.
Yeah.
Our dissatisfaction in external things. So everything becomes external. But on like the basic human level, like what's wrong with a seeker saying I like pizza and I dislike broccoli? Like being very trivial and dumbing it down. I mean, can't a seeker still say, yeah, I like food, but I don't like that food?
One thing more before we answer this question, you have rightly raised the question. So now the like and the pleasure is there. Liking and the pleasure is there. Now if the liking and the pleasure continues, it results into attachment. What is the attachment? Let us understand. Then you will get the answer of what you have asked me. So attachment means the mind interprets the meaning of happiness in the objects outside. That is what the attachment is. Mind gives an idea to myself that this is the way to be happy, but where I already know it, happiness is not there. Now happiness is not there. I'm clear, my mind is clear, my mind is not attached and obsessed. Now I like broccoli, let me eat broccoli without attachment. Where is the problem?
No problem.
No problem. Now if I get obsessed that I can only meet my hunger with the broccoli, that is a problem. That is an attachment.
I see.
I can eat anything to meet my hunger. If broccoli is not available, let me eat something else. So my mind is not running after, not getting obsessed, not getting addicted to one thing. That is another element of the attachment.
I understand.
So, and what it takes to understand and contemplate and reflect there and then. The moment you saw the beautiful girl across the table, why didn't you go and hug her? Because social
Can I tell you what's been on
restriction.
what's been on my mind lately?
Yes, social restrictions are there, moral restrictions are there. You want to present yourself to the society that I'm not that kind of a person. So now there is another level of conflict that enters into the mind. And these impressions keeps on triggering yourself, multiplying itself. They lives in the mind, they repeat itself. That is why the mind is wandering. Otherwise, why the mind should wander? Tell me, why the mind should wander? So I lose my awareness. Now answer, when I have a strong likes and dislikes, I get obsessed. That is an attachment that causes the desire inside me. And now the intellectual paralysis has taken place. The intellect has no role to play, but mind, intellect follows the mind. And that is where the problem comes in my life. I have already accumulated millions and trillions of those impressions. You can categorize them into different drives. So now these are the factors which give the interpretation to the mind to respond. And that response becomes a reaction, that response is an attachment, that response is just veils my real nature. I don't follow what is right and good. I just follow what I like and what is pleasant to me. And there is a sea. Are you clear?
Yes. I wanted to share with you, and I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but I feel prompted to share with you what's been on my mind lately. And I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but like I just want to share this with you. And if you don't want to, I don't have to talk about it, but like I am feeling I feel like I keep getting this feeling that like I'm in a dream, that none of this is like real, and I feel very like sometimes very detached and kind of not in a bad way, but everything kind of seems very dreamlike, like that it's like it's so hard to explain. It's not scary or bad. It just feels like this isn't real. I don't know how to explain it.
I know. I know. That is why you need a teacher to authenticate that you are right. I feel the world appears like a dream. Oh, no, no, no. I'm not at all interested. Something kind of a detachment. And that sense of detachment gives me a sense of inside, as if I'm already inside. I'm not at all interested in everything, but still I'm doing everything. That moment, that state of the mind will take you to a higher consciousness and will make you a seeker, will make you understand what exactly it means to be a seeker. So you see the entire world. I can give you one example. What happens? My camera, please don't move. Yes. Yes, you're right. I have an AI camera, so the moment I move my head, so it also starts moving. So I have stopped it. You see, my friend, that first I told you that is the right way of becoming a seeker. There is a dreamer and you are dreaming. Two things. The dreamer is dreaming, but something else is aware of the dreamer and also the dreaming. Someone else is aware that here is a dreamer. You know that you are dreaming. You know that the dreamer is being chased by a tiger and you are sweating. and suddenly what happens, you wake up, the dreamer is gone, and the dream is gone. Now, the dream state and the dreamer remains only for a few seconds, but the waking state is also like a dream.
Yeah.
So once you get that level of awareness, which sometimes people translate, oh, this is going to, there is some problem. No, you are totally, as if you are totally detached. Oh, this is a dream. Come on, this is a dream. It's better that I should live into that state. So don't try to change that state. Live into that state. Experience that state more and more, so that you become a seeker.
Oh, it feels good.
It feels
like
good.
I'm kind of living in feels like I'm living it like and I'm not better or worse than anybody, but it feels like I'm living at like a different awareness than people. Like I can, that it's kind of like light and funny. I see people getting so obsessed.
Yeah.
I want to just say like this isn't real.
Yeah. People, you see that people get obsessed, and you say, come on, why he or she is obsessed? What the heck? What has happened to him? So means what? You live at a higher level of awareness. That is very beautiful. I'm happy that you shared that experience. So now you see what happened. The factors which were giving which was the source of interpretation of the mind has been changing. And what are those factors? My biological drive, my past impressions, my sense of attachment, emotional clinging, etc. etc. There is the internal stimuli, not exactly the outer stimuli. There is also an internal stimuli in the term of the thoughts of attachment, duality, conflict, biological drive, etc. etc. Now the intellect has replaced it. No more. And then you are able to see the world. Oh, this is another dream. What happens? You are free from those impressions. You are free from those impressions. So you see that when the mind is changing as a responding station without interacting with the past impressions and the factors and the impressions that is already present in my mind, that is the way to purify the mind. Can we purify the mind by contemplation, reflection? Answer is yes. So should we leave the practice? No. If you leave the practice, you will again go back, because the practice is always engages your body, your mind, your particular situation, your condition, your relationship. So that should always purify the mind. So we should never leave the practice, and at the same time we should continue to contemplate and reflect. So overall message that what we did last time, that it's a matter of awareness, that awareness dictated by the mind with the past impressions. I like her, she is beautiful, for example, and now I keep on thinking, that thinking results into an attachment. Now that attachment dictates the intellect. It strips the power of discernment. It strips the power to know what is right and good. And that is where the attachment, desire, reaction, etc. will come. So how does the mind's conditioning from the past experiences influence its interpretation and reaction? How the past experiences shapes the mind conditioning. Expectations, because it is filled with expectation, it is filled with the biases, which automatically influence the interpretation of the new stimuli. Now you see that you have seen a girl which was attractive, your mind said beautiful. At the same time, the outer stimuli links with the inner stimuli, inner factors of the past impressions that you have had. it bypasses the intellect, and then you are gone. You get obsessed. So there is a very thin line. I am aware, obsession is gone. I am lack of awareness, obsession continues. Obsession from the past impression forces, imposes on you. You lose that awareness. You don't see what is right and good. Let me see what can I do to find my obsession. And now that obsession gives you a shock. Every obsession gives you a shock. Every attachment gives you a shock. Anything. I like sweet, keep on eating sweet. Then your mind does not say that I will create two pancreas. Pancreas remains one. You cannot have two. God, a drunkard guy, who has been drinking for 50 years, he said, God appeared before him, what else you need? God, I can arrange vodka myself, Why don't you give me 5 livers? That is the approach a person in ignorance does it. If I have 5 million, I'll be happy. If I have this house, I will be happy. I already have a house, but no, if I have this house, I will be happy. If I marry to this girl, I will be happy. And that normally never happens. Even if it happens, it ends in frustration.
How about like real life? I gotta turn my TV. How about like, because we are like we live in this world, and we have to work and make money to pay bills and do all the things. Like right now, my business is slow, and I start to get concerned about like financially and like taking care of my life and my dogs and like the what ifs, because like it is that, yeah, and like to me like that feels real, because like I don't want to just end up on the street, and like so like when we have these like quote unquote like real life problems, like right now my home like the home sales are just slow, and so I don't have a lot of income coming in, and it stresses me out because I don't know what's gonna happen, and so I get worried because I don't want to lose everything. This is I think I bring this up at a good time, and I want to chat with you about that, because I know you have some stuff to say on that, because I don't know how quite to get over that stress of a slow business right now.
Yes, that's a huge question, and I wanted to take up that question in the following session. Now question comes, I'm not able to earn what I wanted to earn every month, and that brings my sense of frustration. So I don't see with how much of money I can maintain my living. I don't see that. I see that my way of living is full of luxuries, unwanted expenses that I incur because I have been earning too much. So I added those unwanted expenditures in my life, and I want to keep it. It will never happen. One day you will be able to break that. But if I become aware of that, where I can save, I'm just giving a pragmatic approach, then I will come to the Eastern wisdom. Second part is that ego that wants to live in luxury, it always wants to become a consumer. That causes the fear and the anxiety in me. That if this not happen, same thing, CEO of the big company also thinks, if my owner lays me off today. Same fear and anxiety is there in the life of the CEO. Even the CEO has been earning $20 million a year in US, and still.
Hang on 1 second. My thing's turning on. Let me turn this off.
Okay. So that is what the pragmatic approach is. Now come to the Eastern wisdom. Eastern wisdom says you keep on doing what you are doing. You must keep on doing what you are doing, whatever the situation, condition in life. But one thing you should change. What do you change? You change the mental state and the attitude of doing the work, whether it is a professional activity, whether it is a social activity, whether it is a family activity. Any professional, social, and family activity should not be guided by your ego, that I am the doer, that I am the enjoyer, that I am the experiencer. So I am the doer, I am the owner of this house. That sense of attachment should not be there. Why? It limits your mind. In times of the stress, in times of unfavorable condition, your ego gets more squeezed and it squeezes you more. Can it happen in a day? No. I talked about it. One is karma. Karma means action. And the other is karma yoga.
Yeah.
I talked about it, perhaps you remember. So I add the yoga into the every action means what? Inner mental attitude is that I'm not the doer, it belongs to the existence. I am just an instrument. Let me give you another example. You are a trustee of a trust. So the trust has a $1 billion. It does not belong to you. You are a trustee. So the moment you are a trustee of a trust, it doesn't belong to you. The world is a trust of the existence in the God. Nothing belongs to me. But it does not mean if someone says that why don't you give me some money out of the trust? No, I cannot give you. So I play my role. That is the right approach. It's a very deeper understanding, but I'm just giving an answer for the sake of answering. We are going to follow that path. So when there is no doer I-ness inside attached to your profession, your family and the personal life, then you continue to work. Our master says we don't say you what you need to do. That is your choice. You choose what you want to do, in which profession you want to engage yourself, do it. But change the inner mental attitude, inner mental state first, and then you dedicate yourself, you make your self-effort. Even in times of unfavorable situation, the result will always be good. But the moment that I-ness comes, that I-ness will take you to the path of the prayers. So there is too much of engagement of the path of prayers, what I like, what is pleasant. So I have lot of money, so I can fulfill all my requirements of what I like and what is pleasant for me. And that I leave it on my unconscious mind. I have no problem, and I'm already earning $10,000. I have a mortgage lender who has been a great friend of mine in New Jersey. Now you reminded me. No, it just prompted my mind. He is alone. He spends $15,000 per month on himself. After 2 years, he divorced, fought with wife. He was left alone, and he went into deep depression. And you can say the doctors diagnosed him a couple of mental disorders. He did not talk to me for about 6 months. He returned from that state, and then he said, now I have found it. Again he moved into the same state. I said, why you are spending $15,000 on yourself? Can you really spend? He has all those BMWs and etc. and a big house, etc. But even then, $15,000 doesn't make a sense. Doesn't make a sense. Now, in times of crisis, I still want $15,000. That is the path of the prayers I follow. So I have to analyze and examine what is right and good in my life. Can I do with $5,000 today? I told him, can you do it? Oh, that's a good question. So that demands an endurance. I said, no, the endurance will bring you to the path of the Shreyas. So you become aware of the entire paraphernalia around you, by which what you like and what is pleasant for you, you are fulfilling. Now is the time, in the times of the stress, in the times of these unfavorable situations, it is very important to revisit how much expenses you are making, so that you are able to reorganize that one part. Second part, leave your ego. Leave your ego inside. Change your attitude. That is what we are going to do. That is again happening. Why it is happening? So it is better to answer the question, in what ways can we educate the mind to have more conscious, thoughtful responses rather than impulsive reaction? Fear is impulsive reaction. Fear in the times of slowing down is an impulsive reaction. So what is the solution? I have to clear my mind from the past impression who triggers these factors of the fear and the anxiety. That is very important. More important than the outer crisis. Outer crisis, people manage even in unfavorable situations, they still do their business. Those who can endure it, those who are more aware, those who live in the state of mindfulness. And then it comes to the basic existence. Can't you live? Can't you eat? Even in the times of crisis? Yes, you can eat. You can have clothes? Yes, you can have it. American life is such that we have so many pairs of clothes. We can definitely do with our car. We can manage our house. Definitely we can do it. But we feel we know we cannot do it. Why we feel? Because of pleasure. Because I like, and what I like more money. Who doesn't like more money? But do I have a understanding of what is right and good? The world does not remain the same. My body will not remain the same. Another 12 years, 10 years, body will become weaker and weaker. It's a part of the life. The world outside, last answer, that I will take up later. First problem is that I don't know who am I. That is the problem. Second, I don't know the real nature of the world. One example of the word nature. This real nature of the world, that it has always opposites. What do you mean by opposite? You like something, after some time you will dislike it. You have pleasure today, you will have pain tomorrow, by the same situation, by the same thing. Do whatever you want to do. You have a profit today, tomorrow you will have a loss. That's a fact of the life. Today you are full of energy, tomorrow you feel that I didn't sleep. The very word is a nature of opposites. You cannot undo it. You can manage it. But if you manage it with wisdom, you are successful. You don't manage it, you manage it with the pleasure principles, you suffer. You suffer.
Yeah.
You always suffer. How does the ego affect the mind's interpretation to reinforce a positive self-image? That's a positive question. This is what the answer is. So now my ego is very clear. Now ego does not depend on the outer situation, condition, problems. I was told when I came in 2007 and 8, that was the period of depression. So a couple of Indian friends told me, why you have come at this time? It's a age of depression. So I told them that I'm not depressed. Depression is outside, but I'm not depressed. It took me, obviously, 2 years to come out of that challenges. So whatever the outer situation should not impact me. I get attached to even from the outer situation, whether it is favorable, whether it is unfavorable. And that is where we need the right approach, a good approach, a balanced approach, a mindful approach. Why? Because outside the world it always has an opposite. You cannot get rid of that opposite. That's the very nature of the world. Including the body is also a part of the world. Body is relaxed today, tomorrow it is tired. You don't know. You cannot predict what disease will take place in the body after a couple of years. You don't know. I know there is a path of Jainism in India who are very orthodox. They live purely on vegetarian diet. At the age of 90 years, my friend's mom suffered from a cancer. My friends always keep crying that, we never eat this, we never have taken soda, we have never eaten junk food. Then why my mother had a cancer? World lives with the opposites. You cannot change it. Whatever is destined, it is going to happen. So when I recognize the world lives with the opposites, I separate myself. Profit, I have separated. I don't get obsessed with it. Loss, I don't get crazy. I see it in a right perspective. I take a right action and I start living in happiness.
Are things already destined for everybody?
What did you say?
Is life already destined for everybody?
You're asking again a very future questions. Answer is yes. At the same time, can we change the destiny? Master says yes. So what is destined is realized by the self-effort. If some astrologer says you go and buy the ticket and you will get $1 billion jackpot. Okay. He said it. And you keep lying on the bed. You don't even make an effort to go to a lottery seller and buy the ticket. And you say, no, it depends on destiny. What is destiny? It will happen. One simple example. So destiny is realized by this self-effort. Whatever is destined, that is one part. But when we follow the path of the Eastern wisdom corrects my self-effort. So what happens? Now see, some magic happens. So if in my destiny something unfavorable is, my self-effort is to follow what is right and good, so that unfavorable situation dissolves. So that is the complex structure of destiny and the self-effort. They have to go together. No, my God, no, I'm destined to have the food, so I will not eat. If you don't use your hand and do not put your food into the mouth, no, I'm destined. I have to make an effort. So understand that part. Destiny and the self-effort should go together. If they don't go together, if you are lazy, if you don't do anything, and you say, what is, oh, I have heard from the astrologer, or all those psychics are, we have all the psychics everywhere in US, and they also predict you. So destiny, and they say, oh, it will happen. Why it will happen if you don't make any self effort? At least you made a self effort to go to the psychic to find out what is in my destiny. That we miss the part. We miss that part. And when you miss that part, then we say, okay, then I become lazy, then I become obsessed with whatever I'm doing, and that does not help me. That does not help me. Another thing in the destiny, one thing we should always understand, you plan everything. For example, you plan to go to a restaurant tomorrow at 8 p.m. How many things, how many factors which are responsible for going to a restaurant? You should have a car, you should drive, the car should have a petrol, you should have a wallet in your pocket. Now you have to reach at 8, and you see that it takes half an hour, so you start at 7:30, you are on the street, and now you find there is already a traffic jam because of an accident. Then anyhow you reach at 8:30, they say, no, we have been waiting. Now you go there, you order the food, waiter serves the food, you take one bite and you say, I don't like it. If your mood is not right, even that action is not complete. So there are millions of the factors which we have no control, comes from the destiny. Comes from the destiny. You plan to have $1 million every month. You plan, that is good. You should make an effort, that is good. But you should put one factor, that there are many unknown factors to reach to a $1 million. Don't put your ego on your planning. Destiny is bigger than your ego. I have done my best. I am happy. I am satisfied. Now whatever the result comes, I will accept as the blessing of the existence. Profit, I have accepted it. Loss, I have accepted it. I will continue to work. So you don't make your mind crazy. That happens in everyone's life. If your ego says, why I could not earn, this is what I have planned, it has never happened to anyone in the world, including the Bill Gates or Warren Buffett. They also have lost the money. Tell me. They have also lost the money. Why? Go back to the same principle that I will take up later in future sessions. The world, the very nature of the world is opposite. It works, swings like a pendulum.
Yeah.
It swings like a pendulum. Now you see that swings like a pendulum. You have made a plan. Now the destiny says that here is your success. Now as you approach to the realization of your goal, now here is a loss. You have planned everything. You have expected everything should go right manner, but something happens. It comes from the dead destiny.
Yeah.
You don't realize it. So in future lessons, let the time come, we'll find out, oh, what is that factor of the destiny, what we say. That is the fifth factor we say normally. There are 4 other factors which are known to us, but the fifth factor is unknown. Can we know it? Answer is yes. The basic question still remains. We return from there's a higher principle to the normal principle, that should I create a what question? what to do when the mind creates a mess in my life. So, what should I do?
Yeah, what should I do?
I should change the direction of the mind. I should ask the intellect to take over the mind. I should examine how the mind has created a mess because of the likes and the pleasant. It is getting obsessed with something attracted by the sense organ, and that I don't recognize, because in obsession I am not aware. There is a lack of awareness. Then I find that, oh, there is a problem. So it means that now I am ready to react instead of responding. So when I react, I create further problems in my life. So I create reaction. Over the reaction, I create a mess in my life. So I have to look back, am I responding or reacting? Reaction includes anger, frustration, fear, insecurity, dissatisfaction. If I have those symptoms, obviously I am reacting. I have to convert this into response. So I have to find out which factors is triggering this interpretation, because of which mind is ready to react. Let me find out. And you start thinking, you start contemplating. The moment you start thinking and contemplating, you're asking the intellect to take over the mind. Problem is gone. And you realize, oh, problem is gone. A student in Ukraine, what should I do? I recently divorced. He has been with me for many years. So I recently divorced and we have a son. I want to keep the son. I said, why you are obsessed in keeping the son? She also wants to keep it. So that is the bone of contention. Court has already given you an order that you can meet your son. Yes, it is. So whenever, every week you go there, you meet with clarity, with love, with care. What love your ex-wife offers to the son during the entire week, you offer that love only in 1 hour. How can you offer? If your mind is not in mess, then only you can offer. Otherwise, you will keep fighting. Otherwise, you will talk to your son that, I want to keep you with myself. And so the son also hears the same thing from the mom. He says, that appears to be a good plan. I said, it's a good plan for you to change your mind. I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. But after a few weeks, he says that, I'm very happy. Now because I don't have those thoughts of obsession to keep my son with myself. And I was so happy when he told me, you see, sir, after all, even in relationship with my son or a wife, I realized that we don't live 24 hours touching the son or the wife. I said, that is a greater level of awareness. You see, we talk about the relationship. So that thought creates a mess in my mind. If you get married by chance, or you will definitely get married, I will tell you, you cannot keep with your honey, keep hugging 24/7. That relationship lives in the mind. Oh, when you have a physical relationship, maybe an hour and two and done. Then you do your work and she does her work. We don't recognize this. So he said, I recognize, I have been busy in computer programming, and sometime it happened that, I told my son that I will talk to you after an hour. This is a great realization to me. It enhances my level of awareness. It brought me calmness. I said, I love you. You have really realized this is the way. And now his wife has a problem. She thinks, what this guy is planning. He's not planning anything. He's not planning anything. Now his wife is very tough on the son, that why you say that you love your dad more than me when I'm giving you everything. It happened just in 3 months. Just a little bit of change in your attitude of the mind instead of creating a mess in your life. He's so happy. He's quite young. He's in his 30s. In his 30s. So we don't see where what is right and good lies and why to follow. So then he asked me, I said, no, continue that journey. Don't say anything. Don't go to the court. Don't ask any special favor to you. How long? I said, for about a year. After you are meeting every week. You have a chance. Court has given you the order. Now I'm able to sleep better. I don't think too much about those situations, unfavorable situations. I don't see ex-wife reaction. That is also clear. And he's very happy. So we don't see the right picture, right perspective. And that causes the problem. What Eastern wisdom does? Eastern wisdom gives you that knowledge, that wisdom to see where the problem is. Should I tell you one thing? He was destined to part with his wife. That I saw intuitively. I'm going to tell him after a few months. If he is able to realize and he comes out and he says, I was destined, I will be happy. If he doesn't, and if he continues on the path, sometimes we are destined. My mom left me when I was in 10th grade. It was destined. I could not stop. My dad left me when I was I was 25, 26. It's a destiny. What I can do? So sometimes even with the living people, we are destined. Why? To evolve further. So I told him that don't use this life to get into the mess, but evolve. Find out, do you still need a relationship in the future? So he is still answering me. Do you still need a relationship? And if you still need a relationship, what kind of a relationship you need? Why? Because you already have a 10 years of experience in the relationship. From there you take those understanding and then evolve. And he was telling me, oh, that appears to be a good question. I said, yes. Otherwise, what happens? I feel lonely. Let me remarry. And the same stuff continues. That is a typical American life.
Yeah.
One girl was a professor in some university nearby, and she was left by her husband a couple of years. She's in her 45, 46, in her 50s. So that's a common talk. No, I have to find my friend, and I have a boyfriend, so I'm seeing dating, and then I'll find out why to marry. I said, what happened to your previous marriage? Why don't you examine? You have to be very clear. Do you really need it? She has never asked me that question, but I see that she is very happy. I told her that, you don't have a chance with me. So I'm not asking you, I'm asking you to examine yourself. You should have a kind of self-observation, self-examination, where you are heading to. Don't follow blindly. Don't follow blind, everyone goes for it. One psychiatrist came to me, I don't want to tell you the name. He has the same problem. Two sons of 18, 20 years. And she said, now I'm searching. Just out of the blue, she is saying that, I'm searching for to get married. American mindset. I didn't say anything. I said, get married, create a mess, and end your life. What should I say? But what happened after 3 months? She said that I completely got rid of my delusion and ignorance and suffering. I'm so calm. I'm having a good, very sound sleep. I have stopped taking anxiety and depressive medication. I said, what a good deal. Well, she's already a psychiatrist. So she has understood. So she understood these principles clearly. I said, you told me that you are going to get married. No way. No way. I'm not going there. I'm very happy. I'm not going to create any mess further. I have a lot of things to do. I will write a book. I will absorb myself in other pursuits. You see, everything becomes clear. It does not mean that I'm not saying you marry or you do not marry. That is not my problem. That is your problem. But you have to be very clear. You have to be very clear. So you see that you get an idea of what I wanted to say in the end. You get an idea of self-fulfillment. Now your mind is stationed at an idea, an understanding, a clarity about the self-fulfillment, not the desire fulfillment. You got married because of the desire fulfillment. Now you evolve to a new level of awareness because of the self-fulfillment. I have yet to give her a couple of more lessons about the journey of the self-fulfillment and desire fulfillment. Desire fulfillment, it relates to the world. The world has opposites, and this desire fulfillment will take you to the opposites. You like your honey today, you may have a disliking after a few weeks or a month or years. And you have no chance to exchange like a car. You have no chance. So there is a moral and ethical restrictions, and that put you in dilemma and a lot of confusion. And from there, because you carry those impressions, you carry that delusion in your head, and that creates a conflict and a rift, and then we go for the divorce. So every desire fulfillment is not a fulfillment at all. It remains unfulfilled. So instead of a desire fulfillment, I should go for a self-fulfillment. I should understand